The decision by the Japanese Ministry of Defense to cancel the land-based Aegis Ashore program in the year 2020 marked a pivotal shift in the national security strategy of Japan. Initially intended to be a static shield capable of protecting the archipelago from the growing ballistic missile threat without exhausting the maritime fleet, the project faced insurmountable geographical and safety hurdles. However, the threat that necessitated the system has not diminished. On the contrary, the rapid advancement of North Korean missile technology, particularly in solid-fuel intercontinental ballistic missiles and irregular trajectory tactical weapons, has intensified the urgency for a robust defense network. In response, Japan has pivoted toward a solution that is unprecedented in both scale and ambition. The construction of 2 Aegis System Equipped Vessels, or ASEV, represents not merely an upgrade to the Maritime Self-Defense Force fleet, but the creation of a new class of capital ship designed to serve as an impervious, mobile fortress at sea. These vessels are set to be the largest surface combatants built by Japan since the Second World War, surpassing even the modern Izumo-class helicopter carriers in terms of full load displacement. Current design specifications indicate that each vessel will measure approximately 190 meters in length and 25 meters in beam. While the standard displacement is estimated at 12,000 tons, the fully loaded displacement is projected to approach 20,000 tons. This massive size is not a pursuit of prestige, but a strict engineering requirement. To house the colossal SPY-7 version 1 radar system, originally designed for ground installations, a substantial hull is required to ensure stability in rough seas. The center of gravity must be carefully managed to prevent the top-heavy radar structure from compromising the seaworthiness of the vessel. Unlike the nimble destroyers of the Arleigh Burke class or the existing Maya class, the ASEV prioritizes stability and endurance over speed and maneuverability. This design philosophy reflects their primary mission profile, which is to remain on station for extended periods as a persistent sentinel, constantly scanning the upper atmosphere for hostile projectiles. The core of this capability lies in the integration of the Lockheed Martin AN SPY-7 solid-state radar. This system offers a significant leap in performance compared to the SPY-1D radars currently equipping the Congo, Otago, and Maya-class destroyers. The SPY-7 utilizes gallium nitride technology to provide continuous 360-degree coverage with far greater sensitivity and range. It is capable of detecting and tracking ballistic warheads in the exosphere, distinguishing between real threats and decoys with a precision that older systems cannot match. This capability is critical when facing the prospect of a saturation attack or complex launch scenarios involving multiple vectors. By taking on the burden of continuous ballistic missile surveillance, the ASEV frees up the versatile Aegis destroyers to perform other critical missions, such as anti-submarine warfare and fleet escort duties, thereby optimizing the overall operational readiness of the Maritime Self-Defense Force. In terms of firepower, the ASEV is designed to be a veritable magazine at sea. Each ship is expected to be equipped with 128 vertical launch system cells. This capacity exceeds that of the Maya class, which carries 96 cells and rivals the payload of the American Ticonderoga class cruisers. The primary interceptor for these vessels will be the Standard Missile 3 Block 2A. Developed jointly by the United States and Japan, The Block 2A features a larger rocket motor and enhanced kinetic warhead, allowing it to engage targets at significantly higher altitudes and longer ranges. It is designed specifically to counter medium and intermediate-range ballistic missiles, and it possesses a demonstrated capability against intercontinental ballistic missiles during their mid-course phase. For threats that manage to evade this outer layer, the ASEV will employ the Standard Missile 6, capable of engaging terminal phase targets within the atmosphere. The strategic necessity of such a system becomes clear when analyzing the evolving capabilities of North Korea. The Korean People's Army has diversified its arsenal to include the Hwasong-18, a solid-fuel intercontinental ballistic missile that can be launched with little warning. Furthermore, recent tests have demonstrated the use of lofted trajectories, where missiles are fired at extremely steep angles to reach high altitudes before crashing down at steep velocities. This tactic is designed to test re-entry vehicles and to evade traditional radar coverage limits. The SPY-7 radar on the ASEV is specifically optimized to track such high apogee targets. Moreover, the threat of salvo launches, where multiple missiles are fired simultaneously to overwhelm defense systems, requires the deep magazine depth that only a ship of this size can provide. The 128 cells ensure that the vessel can fire multiple interceptors per incoming target to guarantee a kill without depleting its ammunition prematurely. Beyond defensive measures, the ASEV represents a subtle but profound shift in Japanese defense doctrine toward the possession of counterstrike capabilities. The vessels are planned to be equipped with the Tomahawk cruise missile. This addition transforms the platform from a purely passive shield into an active deterrent. In a scenario where an attack is imminent or has already occurred, the ASEV could theoretically be tasked with striking launch sites or command centers within enemy territory. This capability aligns with the revised national security strategy, which acknowledges that missile defense alone is no longer sufficient to deter aggression. The presence of Tomahawk missiles on a platform that is difficult to locate compared to a fixed land base complicates the targeting calculus for any potential adversary. However, the sheer scale and cost of the ASEV program have invited objective scrutiny and criticism from various defense analysts. The projected construction cost for the two vessels is estimated to be approximately 390 billion Japanese yen each, though historical trends in defense procurement suggest that final costs could rise due to inflation and technical complexities. Critics argue that concentrating such significant resources and defensive capability into just two hulls creates a vulnerability known as the single point of failure. In a conflict, these massive ships would become high-priority targets for enemy submarines and hypersonic anti-ship missiles. Despite their formidable air defenses, their sheer size and slower speed compared to smaller destroyers could make them susceptible to underwater threats. If an ASEV were to be disabled by a torpedo or a swarm of naval drones, a massive hole would be torn in the National Missile Defense Network. Furthermore, the operational concept relies heavily on the ability of the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force to crew these vessels. The demographic crisis in Japan has led to severe recruitment shortages, making it difficult to fully man existing ships. The Ministry of Defense has addressed this by automating many systems on the ASEV and designing the interiors with a focus on crew comfort. Unlike the cramped quarters of traditional warships, the ASEV is expected to feature private cabins and enhanced living amenities to reduce the psychological strain of long deployments. This focus on crew welfare is not merely a luxury, but a strategic necessity to ensure that the personnel operating these complex systems can maintain peak mental acuity during weeks or months at sea.